I've got 30 minutes if you wanna spill your mind. Give me all your reasons.
Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenia and today we're going to be cleaning, organizing and decluttering my complete disaster of a garage. My husband and I kind of share this space. He has his own side for his tools and I have my side for my arts and crafts, which has kind of been taken over the entire area. Well, I am a mom of 2 toddlers and I do my best to try and find the time to have my own hobbies and activities aside from my kids that also make me happy and drive me to wake up in the mornings. Lately, however, I have expanded those hobbies without taking the time first to come up with some sort of organization system. And so that's what I will be taking care of today because better late than never and no one is perfect really. So let's take a look at my hoarder's garage.
I won't do that again.
As I mentioned before, I try to have hobbies and my most space-consuming ones are gardening, which means bags of soil, pots and large containers for hydroponics, for example. The other one is painting furniture and that is having a lot of furniture. If not organized properly or if I'm backed up on work, for example, like I am on furniture right now, it will get cluttered pretty fast. If you didn't notice any furniture, that's because it's all cluttered up at the moment. I have 2 large tables, 2 small ones, 2 dressers, and somebody will bring 2 nightstands a little bit later. Anyway, the first thing I'm trying to do is to create some sort of passage to be able to walk through my garage and work on things. And now that that is done, I'm going to create a workspace for myself by, I guess, throwing everything from this furniture on one side for now. And that way I can sort through things by category or whichever way, but I need some workspace to work on. If you're thinking nobody needs this much furniture even if you're working on it, that is probably true. However, it is staying in my garage until I'm done with it and it is a long story which I don't want to get into right now. By the way, for those who are new, my name is Jenia and I am a Russian wife to an American husband and we have 2 little kids together. My daughter Anya is 2, almost 3, and my son Max is 1 year old. We also have a beautiful cat and her name is Katya. On my channel you'll find plenty of cleaning, organizing and decluttering and I like doing things on the budget if I can. You will also see real life messes and cluttered spaces that I will put in my videos for you to see because that's just real life. You also might be thinking, well, that's just embarrassing for you to do so, and I kind of got over that feeling because every once in a while I receive a comment from someone saying that I just help them feel normal by showing them that they're not alone in their mess and we all struggle with something, and that's all that does it for me really. Of course, I get the opposite comments as well every once in a while, and I believe that's coming from a place of just not understanding how can someone let their garage get to that stage. And that's okay because we all seem to love to compare to others. Whether it makes us feel worse or better, we all need to keep up with the Joneses. Honestly, I used to think that, well, I have 2 kids and there are moms who have 3 or even 4 or more kids and somehow they keep up with their days. So if they can do that, I should be able to climb the Everest with my 2 toddlers. However, I think when we compare, we dismiss that everybody's circumstances are different. Maybe some of those moms have parents that live close by and help them, or nannies, or maybe that mom is just having a good day today. And you're seeing her at a store with all her makeup and hair done and you think, wow, she has it all together. But every once in a blue moon, I also happen to do my hair and makeup and dress my kids up and show up at a store because I might be going somewhere else or I might be just having a good day. And if I did not know myself, I think that I have it all together. But then you see my garage and you think, nope, she doesn't. Anyway, I've listened to a couple podcasts on that topic of comparing because it was bothering me greatly and I came up with a couple of realistic goals that are just for me. And now that I'm working towards those goals, I don't have to compare myself to others because their goals are different as well as their circumstances. And what I have learned is that we compare when we cannot define ourselves or what we want from life. In other words, our definition of success, we don't have it. So we rely on someone else like the Joneses to define it for us and then we try and keep up with them. And we waste so much precious time doing that as well. But life is walking by while we're surrounding ourselves with all of that negativity. I think it's best said that life is just what happens while we're busy making other plans. And it's so important to try and enjoy today, and I think it's great to have goals for a better life, cleaner home, more money, whatever it may be, but also to enjoy the journey to it and not just the destination. and time is ticking and we're not getting those minutes back. Is it really worth it to spend it on making ourselves feel worse by comparing us to those who, let me emphasize, seem to have it all together on their good days and without even knowing what's behind their garage door? I think it's far better to define our own success and set our own goals and enjoy the process of moving towards that goal, with all the achievements along the way as well as reaching the goal itself. But while we all struggle with something from time to time, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. What is it that you're trying to balance out in your life right now? It could be work and family, or hobbies, or kids and free time, or whatever it is that you are struggling with. Leave me a comment if you feel like it. I'd love to hear from you. In the meanwhile, our garage is getting better and better by the minute, and I also wanted to mention that I did not complete this project in one day, as you can probably see by me wearing 57 different outfits. I think it took me about a week or so, I can't exactly remember. I did not set this garage up as my priority, so I was doing it at whatever free time I had. It could be 15 minutes on one day and 2 hours on another, but all in all, I got it done eventually. As you could see before, my husband brought in that white shelf that used to be in my closet. I'm going to be organizing all of my planting supplies on that shelf, including little plastic bottles and whatever nonsense that I have going on. I'll try to make it more organized. And before you start judging me on collecting all of those plastic tea bottles, I have a project in my mind that I will be using them for. Either way, I'm just trying to clean everything up, and on the right side with that wire shelf and the white shelf, I'm going to be placing all of my planting supplies, and on the other side, I'll be placing all of my painting supplies as well as arts and crafts. Also, this pest spray I'm using in all of the corners, that's my own idea in my head. I just can't stand anything that crawls, basically any kind of insects, and I just thought that might help. It's pet and child safe. Not that we have any kind of big problems with insects in our house, however, I just try to be careful. And also my kitty, last year, she brought me a couple of surprises because she was so proud of catching them, and I still have nightmares about it. I'm gonna store all of my big soil bags right there, and I'm not just planning to forget about them. I am also working on my new garden right now as I'm doing this project with the garage as well. So before I even finish this project, I'm gonna go through all of those bags in my garden. I'm gonna bring in some more bags, and in the end I'm gonna need to find a solution to just store maybe 2 big bags of soil in this garage, and you'll see what that will be. On the right side of this shelf, I'm gonna store most of my painting supplies, but the bigger cans of paint are gonna go on the upper shelf out of my sight because I'm probably not gonna need them in a long time. As much as I can, I'm trying to store all of the things that I need more often in front of me or closer to me, and all the others that I don't need so much kind of behind other things or in a storage box, but at the same time sort of in a category. You will see all of that during this video, but I am trying as much as I can not to clutter up my visual space so that I don't get confused every time I see so many different things. I don't like that. I have all of those brushes that I haven't been using lately since I haven't been painting in a while, so I'm gonna store some of them that are kind of a backup away, and you'll see my little DIY storing solution in a second. I just released my first marathon organization video, which is like 2 hours of organizing, and that also includes me organizing my garage for the first time. And actually, in real life, that happened about a little bit over 6 months ago. And back then I set up this little black box that is simply being held by screw-in hooks, if that's the right term. It has been working so great for me, but only for those things that I don't use on a daily basis, because it's easy to take it out, but it's not so easy to just slide it back in. So I only use it for the things that I store to use someday in the future. This box has 2 holes on the lid because I had my husband drill them before when I used this box for my hydroponic planting, but now I'm going to use it for my brushes. I'm going to store the refill brushes inside the box, and the ones that I use the most will go right inside the holes.
Remember you want me. I try to work, but it doesn't work. I try to say something, but there's no word. I try to justify my actions, less reactions, heart be raising. Oh, it doesn't work.
I have a lot of dollar store containers which I buy on a regular basis. I reuse them in different rooms. I always reorganize things. And today I'm going to use those containers to hang them on screws, as you can see, in different places of this big shelf in the garage. So all the stuff that I don't use on a regular basis, I'm gonna hang all the way up, but I can still see through the container and tell what's inside. I find that really helpful. I can also take the container off really easily and change its location or place it somewhere else or do whatever I please with it, clean it, I don't know. But yeah, that works for me. It's really simple, but it really does work for me. All the stuff that I do use on a daily basis, I'm gonna hang all the way down.
I've been gone, but haven't done much healing. It's pretty clear to me. Kinda strange how I can take a beat from my better self. It's like no one else even really scratches the surface. 'Cause nobody gets me. I'm looking for faith, looking for love in every direction. Looking for someone to show me the way when my map is torn up. Give me a light when my torch is blown out. Let me escape.
To store all of my spray bottles and just plastic bottles, I've been using these DIY Lazy Susans that have been working like magic for me. The only thing is we just need to make a couple more to store all of those bottles behind, and some more to come with all the gardening that I've been doing lately. So each Lazy Susan is gonna need 2 small and 1 large baking trays, I guess, from the dollar store, as well as 1 bag of marbles. You also might have seen me making those Lazy Susans before, because I've also used them in my pantry to store my canned food.
Wide awake and I'm just get away for a better chance at a great romance, and I'm just not getting any braver. 'Cause nobody gets me. I'm looking for faith, looking for love in every direction. I'm looking for someone to show me the way when my map is torn up. Give me a light when my torch is blown out. Let me escape from my hideaway. I give up all of my little addiction.
All of the things that need organization that are kind of miscellaneous, or some of the arts and crafts, anything that's not organized and needs to be, I'm gonna dump into this one pile and go through it one by one.
with some tough decisions, yeah. Now I'm up against the wall, and I'm looking for your attention. And I'm looking for your attention. Looking for your attention.
So all of the sticky stuff like glue and tapes went into this DIY little organizer that I made in my previous garage organization video, and it has been working for me, so I'm gonna keep it. Anything that has been working, I'm gonna keep, obviously, and anything that has not, I'm gonna get rid of. This white drawer organizer is from Walmart. It's pretty cheap. I just painted the front of it, and please don't pay attention to that. Everything that's inside, all the containers are from the dollar store. Right now I'm going through all of the more of a heavy-duty stuff rather than arts and crafts. This is to do with furniture and tools and just metal things. Everything that's heavy and metal, I'm going to place not on the upper shelf because I don't want it to fall on my head, but I'm going to place it into a storage container and underneath this table I'm working on to utilize that space under the table. Also, while sorting through things, I'm making sure that all of the screws and small dangerous kind of things for the kids are locked away or placed up on the shelves away from the kids and are unreachable, obviously. Even though garage is not a place for kids, you know, if you have them, they end up playing anywhere in the house and you cannot control where your kids end up all of the time. So just to make sure and be extra cautious that my kids are not going to harm themselves, I'm going to lock all of the things up on the shelf or lock things that they're not supposed to be really playing with in that container under the table. But if it's something dangerous like, let's say, screwdrivers or something extremely dangerous, it's not going under the table even if it's locked, because kids are kids, they will get through the locks. So that is just really far away that they cannot reach even if they really try to. I also normally use a step ladder to get to the upper shelves myself, so whenever it's not in use, I try to keep it in a closed mode and not ready for the kids to use at any time, especially if I'm not in the garage. Whenever it's not in use, I close the step ladder and I store it away.
I'm a little bit naughty, I'm a little bit too consumed, but every part of my body is telling me to run away from you. Come a little bit closer, yeah, come a little bit closer.
I got some clear organizers from the dollar store and I just wanted to update them. Also lately I have been getting some screws and hooks of my own, so that I don't have to share them with anybody and I don't have to go through my husband's stuff every time I need every little thing. But I'm not gonna take them out of their original packaging yet because I'm not sure if you should, since it has all the measurements and it tells you what kind of screw it's in there, and sometimes I guess you need a certain type. So until I do a little bit more research on how to organize those type of things, I'm just gonna keep them in their original packaging. Let me know if you have any ideas.
You're a little bit selfish. You get mad every time you lose. You can't take me with you. I'm scared you're gonna blow your fuse. Come a little bit closer. Yeah, I can really start over. Yeah.
Red plastic bin is the last in this category that still needs a little bit of organization. It's got my arts and crafts, and I'll do that a little bit later in this video. But first I'm gonna place all of those heavy metal things into that storage container. And I got those two little dollies from Harbor Freight store. The small one cost me under $5, the bigger one was $12. So I was looking for something like that to move heavy things around, like especially my soil and peat moss, big blocks of peat moss that I just can't lift. So this one was the cheapest I could find, which is from Harbor Freight store, and I went and got it. And I think they're not only great for transporting something heavy from point A to point B, but also for keeping things under your furniture, especially if it's something heavy or if you have back problems. I fell in love with them so much that I ended up actually making one DIY. A little bit later in this video I'll show you how, and I made two, not one. But right now it's time to go through all of my containers that I get from the dollar store that I've been collecting over time, and I just got way too many and I don't need all of that. But I'm gonna declutter some of it, but most of it I can put kind of one into the other and just save some space that way. Let's see how I am going to figure this one out.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. I'm buzzing, let's drink up. Your death look like big fun. Come on, let's get it on. Like that Marvin Gaye song. I'm stunning, you love it. Come on, give me something. I know that you want it. Come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave.
Although I don't have to justify, I still want to explain that some of those things I keep only because I have a certain project in mind. It's not that I keep every single piece of wood that I just see in the house, but I have a certain project in mind. It's just that it takes me time to get to that project. And most of the time I do actually get to that, but if I don't, there's always a day like today when I'm decluttering stuff and I'm just gonna get rid of all of the stuff that I feel like I'm never gonna get to or I don't need it anymore. First, I decided to put all of my organizers into this white plastic container, and whatever doesn't fit, I thought, well, then I have too many and I'm gonna get rid of everything that doesn't fit. However, I decided that if I can't get to them, then I'm not going to be using them, and that way I don't even know what I have. I can't even see what's inside. So I wanted to get a better place where they're all kind of on display, and I decided to place them into that white shelf that has a metal shelving on the bottom. You'll see that in a second right here. It ended up working actually absolutely great, because even though this white shelf as well as the wire shelf next to it is mainly for planting, fertilizers, anything to do with gardening, I now have all of the containers all in one place and I can see through them, as well as all of my containers for gardening are placed right above those containers. So all of the containers that I have, gardening or not, are now all in one place. That made me happy. The stuff in this box is just some of the stuff that I'm going to declutter. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this soil is all of the new soil that I bought because all of the other soil from the beginning of this video has already been used in my gardening setup. I am going to place all of the new soil in the same spot that is now empty, and I will use it pretty fast as well. It's going to be gone by probably the end of this week. And while they will eventually end up in the garden, I don't want to place them there directly because I have my reasons, like, you know, insects and other reasons.
I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time, all the time. And my heart's beating fast when it's looking like that. Oh, his smile is killing me. It's the way that it moves and the way that it laughs, so I can't get enough. Thinking about him all the time. I can't get him off my mind. Oh, I want him to be mine, to be mine.
This is the seasonal decorations that are gonna go on the top of the wooden shelf.
I say yeah, 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 yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter.
So I have a bunch of bags that I'm going through right now. Those include just heavy-duty bags as well as just high-quality bags that I have not really been using, and I have not really been collecting them as much as just not throwing them away. Like even birthday bags that my daughter is playing with on the floor, I have not been collecting them purposely, just, you know, saving them every once in a while, if that makes sense. And while they're not taking a lot of space, I guess I don't mind keeping them, but I also keep those little packages that, for example, if you buy something expensive and it comes in a nice, really nice expensive package. Like for example, I bought a hairbrush the other day and it came in a really, really nice container and I don't want to throw it away. Do you guys keep those, or do you keep those every once in a while? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you do with yours, but I keep a lot of mine. A lot of them I did throw away, especially on this day today. So now this bag has all of those birthday bags as well as good quality packaging bags and just, you know, some special bags I didn't want to throw away for some reason. Everything else, I don't feel like I need anything else. I am good. Now I'm gonna make that dolly, and I happen to have the exact measurement board that I needed for that dolly that I wanted to make. I wanted to make one a little bit size up than the one that I got from Harbor Freight, and the one that I was going to make would cost me $16.99 at Harbor Freight. Still a very good price, however, if you buy 5 of them, they are going to add up. We all know how ridiculously expensive wood is right now, that it's times and times more expensive than it was even when we bought those boards. So if I paid for this lumber today, this dolly together with the wheels would cost me about $10 to make. But really, I just had to pay for the wheels, which I got from Amazon for $16 for 12 of them. Now I'm going to take a little break from sanding the wood that my husband cut for me before I put it together, and I'm going to put this rug on the floor that my mother-in-law got for me. It's a used rug and it's going to work great in my garage. I think my kids can play on it. I think it will be fun. But anyway, guys, I'm going to place the link for the wheels just in case you're interested to make one for yourself or maybe your parents, especially if they have a back problem. We might not realize how helpful those dollies are, especially while we're young and healthy and can easily reach for things. However, I think that some older relatives, be it grandmother or a mother, might appreciate it a little bit more, especially if they're living by themselves. Now I'm got a shelf liner from the dollar store and I'm gonna put it on my dolly so that the things that I put on the dolly don't slide. I should have probably done it first, but now that I know better, I'm going to make the second dolly the proper way. I had my husband cut this board off camera, and I was trying to learn how to use the saw as well, as you could see earlier in this video, but it's a little bit too scary for me at the moment. I'm still trying to learn how to use the drill. Now remember that bin that needed to be organized, that was the last thing with the arts and crafts. Now I'm going to put all of those arts and crafts into 2 containers and hang them up all the way on the shelf.
This town's so lame, I'm feeling so wired. It's 4 a.m., I'm not even tired. We're in your car, we can drive away. Oh yeah, we're almost there.
And as far as this drawer with the little hooks and screws and command strips and little shower rings, whatever it may be, I just played around with it a little bit and organized it in my own little way, and I'm just going to show you the finished product.
Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight.
I also decided to do this one last thing, which is to hang this shower shelf from the dollar store on the side of my wooden organizer. And now I'm gonna recycle or throw away everything that I am not donating, and everything that I am donating is already in the trunk of my car. And now it is going to be time to show you the finished project. Our garage is finally done. It is organized in my way that works best for me, and I hope you enjoy the after pictures. Here you go. Everything on these 2 huge shelves is to do with my gardening, planting, hydroponics, and on the bottom we have containers. I have fertilizers for soil, I have different types of soils. On the back I have additives to soils and empty containers that I will be using probably for soils. Extra container that actually belongs to my husband, but this time I could afford to spare some space for him on my property this time. Those are just the long sticks and things and some pots. And on the other side you have everything to do with my painting, arts and crafts, and furniture makeover things. It is such a great feeling to be able to walk through this place and not fall over and kill myself. It is also extremely satisfying to be able to just finish a huge project like this. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to hear from you in the comment section, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye bye!